And good evening, one and all. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Javi Unboxed. This is going to be one of the last CNC episodes for a while. One of. We still have a few more because getting ready to start the building portion of Javi Unboxed. So pretty soon you will be seeing a few building episodes. And I will return with the CNC. There's still two or three left, but at probably around September or so, September, October, I'm going to hold off on the CNC stuff until a year and a half, 2 years time. But I'll let you guys know. And how is everyone out there today? I sent Russ the link, but he's probably with his family or something at the moment, or sleeping. It's all the same. Good evening, Paul. How have you been? Tonight we're going to have something interesting, like every week. I thought to myself the other day, a lot of people, a lot of us woodworkers, mechanics, tool guys in general, we have our toolboxes, we have our drawers, and we have our custom boxes. And some of us are OCD about keeping our tools nice and neat. Some of us just want another project, and I'm looking forward to another project as always. And I thought to myself, recently, I was. I'll get to that in a second, Paul. Yeah, yes, house building. Recently, I maybe not so recent, but I've been looking at a bunch of different foam products. So because the CNC can handle, say, Kaizen foam, however you pronounce it. And a lot of people have been talking about that, either use a hot knife or use a CNC to cut inserts for your drawers so you could place all your tools nice and neatly and organized, sockets, whatever the case may be. Well, thought occurred to me, these things are metal tools. Why do I have to have foam? I mean, bottom line is, a simple piece of plywood. Yeah, it might be a little heavier, but the drawers can handle it. It's not like it's going to add that much weight. Very relatively cheap. I mean, it's gone back down in price, and it's very simple to do. So the projects that I'm going to do today are basically to show you how to cut out a drawer template, for your using different techniques for your tools, wrenches, sockets, whatever the case may be. In addition, this can also be used for Kaizen foam as well. So if that's the case, yes, Paul, my about 3 years ago. I mean, if you see my channel, the Make Room for Javi, if you like, go to javi.com, javi.com. That's my website. And if you scroll down, there's a Make Room for Javi box that will take you to all the Make Room for Javi episodes. And I started off cleaning phase one, if you will, cleaning getting my shop ready. And it turns out that I didn't have any space at home, so wife and I talked about it, and we decided to buy a good evening, Dave. And we decided to buy a property in Central Florida where we'll retire in a couple years, or move, whatever the case may be. I'll never retire. And found a really nice place. And episode 17 is when I first purchased the property over there of Make Room for Javi, so you could enjoy that. I'm about to start editing all those videos to make them all nice and short and make them all like 5 minutes long, because I'll always have the long videos up if you guys just feel like sitting back in a recliner, but then I'll have the short ones for people that have short attention spans. In the near future, I'm going to be catching up on all the unedited video that I have for the past year and a half that I've been working on the place. I haven't been doing much because my timeline was 3 years. It's in October, it's going to be 3 years to prepare the property for building. I'm getting ready for building now, so within the next couple of months, I'll be going through all the processes of the permitting process. I'll talk all about the architectural drafting plan. I drew the plans myself, had them stamped. I'm going to pull the permits. I'm going to build the entire house myself. I've had decades of construction experience in the past. My father's been a contractor for going on 56 years now, still active. Yes, it's amazing. 78, still working hard. And yeah, that's the long and the short of it. So I have most of the materials. I can do the bulk of the work myself. There's certain things like concrete that I'll have done, but well, that's that. All right, so let's move on to our project. And let me see here. So we shall go to the share screen. And here we are. Let's create a new file. Now we're going to create a new file, or let's go ahead and save it. So first let's yeah, I'm just going to make it how deep are those drawers? Stand by real quick. Let me just do a quick measurement. All right, my drawers happen to be 23 by 11 and a half. Your size may vary, obviously. So I'm just going to put 23 by 11 and a half. You know, what I would recommend is when you drop I mean, obviously foam is flexible. If you're going to use plywood, drop it in and place a nice little a strip of, you know, anything. Cut a piece of foam from one of your deliveries, from one of your Amazon deliveries, and stick it on the sides, and that'll keep it from rattling around. But basically, okay, so we have ourselves a 3/4 inch thick piece of, let me make sure that Russ hasn't dropped in while I was measuring. Okay, here we go. 3/4 piece, single-sided of board. There's the size of the board. We're gonna do the anchor point, of course, is going to be 0, 0. We're going to cut the outside. So the outside will be, it'll be square. It'll be 23 and a half wide by 11. What did I say the size was? 11 by 23 and a half. Let's find out. No, the other way around. 23 by 11 and a half. There we go. And so there's our on the border, there's our thing. We'll just do a quick profile. We're going to cut it all the way to the 0.75. We'll use an end mill outside and calculate. Boom. Now, obviously, you can actually cut the board yourself and just drop it in your CNC. And I would highly recommend you creating a template, cutting the boards. That way you're not going to have a bunch of waste. And cut them all to the same size if your drawers are all the same size. And make a mount for your CNC so you can drop them all in there. But for now, I'm just pretending that I have a huge board and I'm just cutting it down to size. And that will be the last cut, by the way, even though I made it the first one. All right, so let's go ahead and look real quick on the internet, and we will we'll do a quick search for tools, clip arts. Now, um, what I would recommend is you take okay, so I'm just gonna whatever, I'll just grab one of these. Let me see. And yeah, construction. Sure, any one of these will do. Um yeah, PNG. I don't like PNGs. Let me try for a JPEG. And whatever, we'll just grab any couple tools here. There's a set. And we'll go to here, perfect. Here we go. We got a whole bunch of them there. So let's say this was the actual thing. All right, so we'll go to our location, and we shall import as always. I mean, you guys know where I'm headed with this already, but most of you import bitmap. If you happen to have vectors of the tools, better yet. But for now. Let's see. Hang on a second. Let me see what we call it. Download is what it's called. Download one. Open. That's not it. Okay. Let me do the old thing again. Let me see what it's called. Wait, what? It's unnamed. That's what it's called. All right, so import bitmap. We're gonna import unnamed, which happens to be what the name of the thing is. Now, obviously, this is just to get a general size because the tools are not going to be that big. Well, they might be that big, but maybe not. So I would say check your sizes. Okay, so you have this here. Now, clearly you're going to need to do a little bit of editing on this. So let's go to our let me go quickly to whichever editing program you have. And in my case, mine's Photoshop, but Windows picture thingy or whatever the case, whatever your photo program is, just edit the picture as you need it, separate it into different files if you need to. I'm just gonna go and do a quick little cutoff of all these little white spaces and resave the image. And the reason I'm doing this is because pretty soon I will. Okay, so now that's fine. Save. And let's go back and re-input this picture. So re-input, go to bitmap, and the picture's called unnamed still, and resize it. Now it doesn't have that ridiculous line on the outside. And just for the sake of this show, oh yeah, Snap-on Tools. That's a very good tip, Paul. Snap-on Tools has a lot of these companies have their tools in ready digital format, so you could do that. The other thing I was saying that you could do is you could actually go and you could go and place your tools on. I mean, almost everybody these days has a scanner printer. They're so cheap; they're $50. But take your tool, place it right on the scanner, scan the thing, and then on whatever. I mean, if you want exact fit, so I would highly recommend doing that. And you organize it whichever way you want. You can make a day of it. I mean, just again, these things are not. While they might be for productivity in the long run, come on, guys, this is just fun for us. This is entertainment It's like the people that I've been watching a lot of these sites where somebody restores an old tool, like an old screwdriver or something like that. Many of these tools not worth restoring. I mean, you can go to Harbor Freight and for the time, for the 4, 5, 6 hours you spend restoring a tool and maybe turning a new handle on a screwdriver, or and polishing everything up and letting it sit in vinegar or Oxfo or whatever, and repolishing it. For all that time, you could you could work for a couple hours and buy 10 sets of tools at Harbor Freight, or a really nice set at Snap-on. But the point is, it's not for it's not for the economical purpose. It's for the joy of doing it. It's a lot of times, and I'm seeing this more and more and more. People our age, and I'm not that old yet, but I'm already at a point where I'm looking at, you get bored with the average daily things, and you just want to do something that you like to do. Take your time doing it. I do puzzles. I love putting puzzles together. Lately, I've been getting into Sudoku, and it's I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole, but those are just little things that I can do on the couch. But when I'm in the shop, whether it's restoring tools or just creating a new template, it's fun. So, going back to the little thing here. Okay, let me share again. And share screen. So we're now at a point where we have our tools. Whether we scan them in, or we got a clip art, or if you're already ahead of the game and you've already gotten the vector image, you don't have to do this next step. But let's say you don't have a vector image, okay? And you want to do this, okay? So you take these tools and you simply do the old bitmap trace, as we often do. Let me see. Hang on a second. Here we go. And bitmap, trace bitmap, and black and white. The defaults are fine for something like this, and we've got ourselves our little templates. Now, if you want, we could just get rid of this thing because we don't need it anymore. There's our tools. Okay, so let's say you have. Okay, let me go ahead and grab all. Let me close this. Let's say you have, okay, separate these things. And I'm going to move these over to the right. Let's say in your drawer, you have multiple sizes of this thing. So, you go copy, paste, paste. Just, okay, so you have multiple sizes, and this one is actually a little shorter. This one, actually, let me do it. Hey, I missed the holes on these. That's all right. This one's shorter yet. And then I'm going to take these three, copy, paste, and make them even shorter yet. So, okay, there's our whole set of tools. Oh, isn't that nice? Now, here's the one thing that you guys that I would highly recommend you guys doing. First of all, take these things and group them. Group anything with a hole in it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. There's no point in doing an extra hole because you don't care about the hole. So let's go ahead and remove these holes. I don't know why I bothered having them in the first place. I mean, you could put them if that's what you like, so that's fine. But we don't really need the holes. We know what the tool is roughly going to look like. Now, this one we will put the holes in because it's a nice little fit here. Now, here's the fun part. take a little circle tool, and wherever you want your fingers to pick it up, just make something. Okay, radius here is 1 inch. 1 inch is awful small, but whatever. That's good. That'll do. This one, we'll put the radius here, and preferably centered. So we'll center them a little bit. And we could actually do, what we could do here is, wait, let me undo this one. What we could do for these over here is take the square tool, do a radius external, and make it, let's see, it's going to be, the height is going to be 2 inches. The width will be, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make it 9 inches. 9 inches high. I mean, 9 inches wide. And let's see if that works. Up here, boom. No, undo that. We didn't radius the external. We're going to radius 1 inch. And here we go again. About there. All right, that works. So we made ourselves a nice big slot here. All right, I'll make it a little bit smaller, enough to get our fingers in. Now, you guys, hopefully, you'll see what I'm doing here with these things. So now here, I'll take this and copy it, place it over here. Here, I'll copy this, place it across these two, and make it a little bit smaller like that. You know, something kind of nice looking, whatever. This one, let's see. Yeah, I want the circle right over here. So copy, paste. And yeah, that's a good place for it. And last but not least, we'll have another one of these, copy, paste over here. A little smaller. And the saw. The saw should be fine because we're cutting the whole thing out, so I could just grab it right from the handle. I don't really think I need anything for that, but yeah, we'll just leave that one alone. All right, so we have all our tools. Go back to, there we go. All right, we have all our tools, we have all our things. So now we're going to take each one of these and do the old weld the vectors, because here we go, weld. All of these will weld at once. We'll weld this. All right. We'll weld this. We'll weld these three. And actually, just might as well include this one as well. Actually, okay, so here with this one, I need to copy. I'm going to unite this first. I'm going to group it all together. Then I can weld it. And at that point, you'll still have the two holes here. And then this will go here. And listen to that storm. Javi, for the wrenches, you can make slots for them that are tapered on one side so they could sit at. That's a very good idea. Very good idea, Paul. See, I love when you guys comment because, you know, it's, you know, 5, 10 brains can think up a million ideas. 2 brains can think up a couple hundred ideas. So let's see here. There we go. Okay, so we have all our pieces. Let's just let's pretend this saw is a lot bigger than it is, and then we'll just fill up our space here. All right, so we have all our tools. So let's just do the old. Grab all our tools. Last but not least, we'll go to Pocket Toolpath. And now what we would like to do is okay, so there's a few ways to do this. Number one is you can go, if you have a pad underneath, you can go all the way down to the pad. Or if you want to use the wood as a tray, then that would be good too. Because here's one thing that you can do is you can make some space here. In fact, let me do that before I do this. Let me make a little space here. Grab this here a little higher, and these little. Just go ahead and grab all of these a little higher, and then this one a little higher. It's something. Okay, so now we'll go back to our square with radiused edges, and we'll go. Granted, this stuff is kind of not to scale, but what I'm making here are handles. Very poorly made handles, but handles nonetheless. So let me just make this a little wider. Why am I making handles? Well, think about it. If you wanted to, you could actually do the following with these things, which would be really nice. Hang on. Whatever. Okay, so let me make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so you could, if you wanted to, here's your toolpath. Now that first toolpath, not only these two, but I'm going to take this one and this one. That will go all the way through. So when we do our toolpath, we select these two and incorporate it. And then now, there you go, select all, get rid of these. And no. Let me see. Let me do it this way. All right. We'll just get all of the pieces here. We've got all the rest of the pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a pocket toolpath. Now, right now I put the piece at point at the thickness of a 3/4 ply. But you could very easily take the 2 pieces of 3/4 and make it 1.5 inches thick, and whatever you want to do, or do 2 half-inch pieces, laminate them, and it'll be 1 inch thick. But whatever size floats your boat. I'm going to go ahead and go down to close to the edge. I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch. So it would be my mind is going. Instead 0.675, is that right? Yeah. 0.675, that's 5/8. And calculate. That's for our pocket toolpath. Right, so if everything works out well, and I hope it does. Hey, Dennis, how's it going? I'm basically creating imagine this could work for foam, but I'm basically creating a out of wood. I figure, why spend money on Kaizen foam when it's expensive? Plywood is cheaper, and it looks nicer, and you can paint it. And it's not like, it's not like people use foam because it's nice. It holds the tools. It's in a drawer. You're not going to have an earthquake, or gravity's not going to reverse itself, and you're not going to have tools flying all over the place. So now I'm going to put the profile last, and then now I'm going to do the old reset preview all tool paths. And here we go, folks. This is going to cut all our little templates out. All right. And it's taking a while. I don't have it on full throttle here. So we have all our templates. We have our wrenches. We have our very small saw from what it looks like. Remember, very important that you get all the sizes here in one blow. Now, what you do with these is get rid of this thing, because these are handles. So let's say you have, hopefully thicker than 3/4, even though, 3/4, it's a pretty decent size tool holder. Let me tell you, actually, it's 3/4 plenty. 5/8 is plenty, because most of these tools are about 1/2 inch thick. I mean, the small ones. And anything that's bigger than that, well, let it pop out. So you have your holes, and you could do a nicer job. You could take your time, and you could, for instance, and that's what I'll do next. Is I'll do some more little fancy schmancy smoothing out of these things. So okay, so because I don't like this just plain circles. Yeah, when the tool drops in, it looks like a nice little circle, but we could do better. We could do better. I mean, these are fine. These are fine here because these, this, these here, the wrenches and these two. I mean, this size is fine. I would tweak it a little here. So let's go ahead, go back to the 2D, and let's do a little tweaking. And just for aesthetics, we're going to go to the fillet tool. We're going to do a normal fillet, and let's see. I'm going to do a half-inch fillet. Let's see if that's too much. No, that's perfect. Half-inch fillet. So look what I did there. I took here. I'll show you guys on this one. I took the fillet tool and I got rid of the corners and I smoothed them out, made them nice, a little bit, nice. Oops, what the heck happened there? Oh, I see what happened there. That's funny. Yeah, that tool was went all the way over here. Well, anyways, we can make that fillet just a little smaller and see if we can do something about that. Hang on a second. There we go. Well, whatever. Okay, so that one's nice and small. Let's go back to the half-inch for the rest of them. And this fillet there, just on the ends. We don't need to smooth everything over. I don't mind a few sharp corners. And then here are these two here, these four here, the end ones over here, which don't seem to want to conform. And I'm going to go ahead and smooth these out. These will be good too. This is something that just makes it look nicer. It's not much more than that. Oopsie. Didn't mean to go out like that. Come on. Let's see if this works. Nope. That one works. I'm just going to change the size of this one. There we go. Just going to smooth that too. All right. So anyway, we have all our different fillets here now. So it looks a little bit nicer. How much nicer? Well, here's how it used to look. All right. Now let's see what happens if we, you know what? I'm not going to reset the preview toolpath. I'm just going to show you because I've just added to it. So preview all toolpaths. Boom. So it's going to start cutting it in a second. At least I hope it does. Yeah, maybe not. There it goes. Oh, yeah. Now I know why it didn't do it. It actually did, except I forgot the most important part. Recalculate all toolpaths. Ta-da! Come on, guys. You gotta keep me on the ball here. Alrighty. Now let's do it again. Now we got the nice little curves going on here. Now, while this is okay for these kind of tools, this is really, really nice for these kind of tools. Where this really shines is when you get into the, let me go ahead and go off script here. So, well, I don't have a script. Where this really shines is when you go to the sockets and the sockets and the socket wrenches. Reason being, I mean, you know, I could do all this type of fancy schmancy organizing, and it's great and it's wonderful. And for certain tools, like for a set of wrenches, for drill bits, things like that, you certainly wouldn't. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have custom cases. However, when you have something like this for a socket set, now that's a major plus. Because think about this. It's not just you have everything. First of all, I showed you in a prior video a portable socket holder and stuff. You could actually incorporate magnets in this for the sockets, like I've shown in a past video. Let's see. I should make the handle areas as a pocket toolpath so the skinny pieces left over won't shoot out when the bits are cut. Let me see. Make the handle areas a pocket toolpath so the skinny pieces left over won't shoot out when the bit cuts through. I didn't understand that one, Paul. Okay, so I understand. Well, I made it a. Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay, I got it. I understood. Paul is saying basically this, and he's right. It's another way of doing it. I just let's see here. Let me share. Go back to the video. Show you guys. Not a video. Come on, cancel. There you go. Share screen. All right, let me share that one more time with you. Now, if I were to make, for instance, this, these two here, this one and this one, a pocket tool path, but the full depth, 0.75. Then basically what happens is, and let me go ahead and get rid of the thing on the profile. Let me undo it here just so I don't waste machine time. Calculate. All right. And of course, reorganize these. All right. So what he was, hang on, stopping this. All right. So reset preview all toolpaths. The reason why this is probably a better choice is that you have, like he said, those two little long bit. If I were to do a profile cut, you got a bunch of, you either have to do a profile cut with tabs so that thing doesn't fall out, or it's just going to be annoying. Well, notice this time it was nice and clean. And by the way, what I would also do with this is I would do a little round over here. So, and a lot of times, I mean, if you've got it in the CNC now, then by all means, do the top roundovers. That won't cost you anything but a bit change. However, it may be just as easy, since you're going to do both sides anyways, it may be just as easy. Just grab a roundover bit with a bearing on it and a flush roundover bit, and just hand round over it, and you're done. Yep, Bart said dusting the pockets. That's it. So what I was saying earlier is, while all types of little hand tools, this will benefit, I think the greatest benefit would be for socket sets, because you have an entire socket set metric and standard or whatever, anything that fits in a drawer. And if you have everything all nicely organized, nice little, you got magnets for each one of these, so they'll stay in when you're carrying it. Just put one handle in the middle or find the balance and then place the handle there. You have all your sockets, that's like your own portable little toolbox. And the best part is when you're done, you could, and of course, they're all engraved with the sizes on them. So, I need a 9/16. It's right there. Most of us know, clearly if we've been around tools as long as I have it, you guys all know what a 9/16 looks like and this and that. However, the difference between a 4mm and a 5mm sometimes escapes you, or et cetera, et cetera. But bottom line is having the magnets strategically placed and all that. And I will be when the new house and the new shop is built, I hope to and plan to put all these things together. Little projects that I've done in the past. I'll be showing them to you in the future. So, the show will be a continuation of this show in the future. So what I was saying earlier, as far as this show is concerned, I will try to keep this up as long as I can, but I am in the process of pulling permits and getting ready to break ground. So come October, November at the latest, if not sooner, I will be dedicating the next year to building my new house. So Javi Unboxed will turn into a building show for a while, and I hope you guys enjoy that. My videos will be I got to get on the ball because I'm about 1.5 years behind on the Make Room for Javi videos, and I plan to start editing them. It's just never enough time in the world. You know how it is. But I'd be motivated if I actually made money from it, but it's just a hobby. Javi's hobby. So, you can come up with a lot of different tool holders, and this is nothing more than a primer for you, because just an idea that I throw out there. You could use Kaizen foam, and the engraver will cut that, get a nice sharp blade and stuff. You could always put a soldering. I've never tried this, but one person suggested it. I don't think it's a good idea, but putting a soldering iron on your holder and just burn the Kaizen foam with that, it's not like using a hot knife or something like that. But you could use Kaizen foam is rigid enough, and there are other foams that are rigid enough that you could actually cut the things out of foam. And I was thinking to myself, why use foam? There's no point. I could use plywood. There's no point not to use plywood. And there are many more uses for this. Like I said, the small amount of tools, you have custom tools. You use your custom tools. You have, let's say you have a plane that you want to hang on the wall. All right. Well, for goodness sake, come on, guys. Well, these are small, but you can order 1-inch neodymium magnets. You can order any size magnets you want, and you could, just get the right fit, epoxy in a magnet, and all you need is, a wall-mounted piece with these same pockets just in the flat part of, say, a plane. Let's say your plane, you have a plane collection for your wood planes. Have all the different sizes precisely there, and all you need to do is just look up, grab one, and just pull it down, and it pulls off the magnets, and you're done. Obviously, don't put the magnet on the part that the blade is in, but you could put a little hole in the middle so the blade will not lay on anything. Especially the wood and stuff. You don't want it absorbing moisture or anything. That's one. You got chisels. You could easily do there are so many different ideas out there. You could use a keyhole, not a keyhole. You could use a keyhole also, but a dovetail. You could use a dovetail bit, all right? And so you could use a dovetail bit to carve out the little holders. Tilt the thing so you could just drop them in there. You don't need magnets. Or if you like magnets, that's fine. Just, drop them in there. There's just no end. There's no end to the different varieties of things you can do. You guys come up with stuff and feel free to share. I'm looking over at my toolbox now because I've made 3 or 4 different types of bit holders, bit holder boxes, bit holder shelves for my router bits. Each one more useful than the last. There are so many different. I've made drawers. I got to tell you though, as far as drawers are concerned, one guy once made, and I think I have it on one of my videos, but one guy made a little drawer holders, and I've seen Frank makes. I forgot his last name. My mind went blank. Frank, I've seen him do this, except in a much more professional manner. But drawers that hang on French cleats, I got to be honest with you, not a fan. Reason being, first of all the drawers that I made out of wood, I suppose you could put a piece of plexiglass in the front so you could see what's under there. But mine, I made them all out of wood. The wood was heavy. Every time I grabbed a drawer, it was the stuff in it plus the wood. When you have something like a plastic drawer, see-through drawers, like the kind that Harbor Freight sells really cheap, just hang those on your wall for the small parts. There's or the bins, but the lower than you so you can see them. The plastic bins, they're super cheap. They're ready-made. There certain things, don't reinvent the wheel, folks. Don't reinvent the wheel. But for other things, you like your organization, you like something nice and neat, I definitely will go for that. I'm pretty soon, not pretty soon, but over the next couple years, I will be working on my design for the shop. And when I mean my design for the shop is not just the basic layout I already have, but what kind of cabinets do I want where? One thing that I have found for me personally is you see these little green bins here. Yellow. My mind is going. The yellow bins that I have, behind me and everything. I've got 400 or 500, maybe more bins, and different sizes. The 12-gallon, the small ones, the 17 and the 27-gallon. And depending on what I have, whether it's a bunch of plumbing parts or whether it's RV parts or something or other, you don't use them every day. You don't want to be a hoarder, but at the same time, when I've got 5 acres and I'm cutting wood or mowing the lawn, and my one example of just one box, I've got oil filter, oil, hydraulic fluid for the mower, for the hydrostatic engine, and blades, an extra set of blades, and an extra belt and a transmission belt. They're consumables, and I'm not going to if I'm in the middle of mowing my lawn, the last thing I want to do is stop mowing the lawn in the middle, wait 3 or 4 days for Amazon to deliver all this stuff, and then when it's inconvenient, hey Bob, good to see you. So bottom line is things like that. If you've got the space, it's worthwhile having an extra one. You're going to use it. It's not going to be a waste of money. Everything's a waste of space when you think about it. But if you've got the space, so I've got all these bins, and what I was getting at is a simple shelving system where I have all these bins nice and neatly, hidden away. I don't know, maybe this is going too far, folks, but I want to have a nice, neat, and clean garage. So I'm basically going to have, I'll have an office in it. I'll have a bathroom. It'll be divided from the cars. Now, clearly, I'm not going to put a wall behind where I park the tractor or something like that. But the CNC will have its own room and some of the other stuff. And I will have one room for all my bins. I will have a wall. And basically, it won't even be a room. It'll just be an open area where I walk around. But if somebody comes in and sees my garage, they'll see a couple cars. They'll see some toolboxes. They'll see some wood tools like sawmill, things like that. But not sawmill, different saw cutting tools, table saw and stuff. But all the stuff in boxes, I am not going to litter the place with that. I want the place to look nice and as neat as possible. And my recommendation for you guys that haven't done that is clean your places up. Reason being, it's peace of mind. It's a peace of mind issue. When you walk into, look at this mess, right, that I got here. If you walk into that every day, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to go, you know what? I got to clean that up. I'm not doing any work today. And you turn around and walk right around. And it happens to me quite often. So, I'm in the process right now of working up there. So I'm kind of ignoring all of this. But yes, both of the CNCs will be in the same room because, it's a 40 by 80 location. So it's I will have them both in the same room. And I'll probably have a small CNC. I'll have another couple CNC machines and stuff for each one proprietary for a specific purpose and stuff. And probably in the next couple years, I may be actually designing something on my own to go with the Javi box. So if because I find that I answer a lot of questions on other people's machines, and that's fine. And I'll still sell the Javi box as a separate controller for anybody's machine. But it's nice when I could do the one whole simple package. And here you go, do it yourself, cheaper than any other CNC. And the hard part about it, which is the controller, is ready made and built for you. So. And where are you on my plans? All right, so let me share this with you, Bob, in the last or all you guys in the last few minutes. As I was saying earlier, I'll be going up in a couple weeks. I'm in the permitting stages, so I basically expect to be. I have all my plans, all my information, all my energy calc, everything I need to pull the permits. Everything. So it's a simple matter of going over there and the zoning and Department of Health. That part's easy. I walk through that. They give you those on the spot, but you got to fill out some stuff, and then there's some other paperwork I got to fill out. But the building department basically is my next visit there. I will submit the plans, and it will take approximately 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks is what they said. We'll see how long they take. They might take less time. They might take more. But the second I get that permit, I I'm heading up there to break ground. There's also some logistics that I have to do with the place to live and all that while I'm up there. Hopefully on the RV on site, but I got to fill out a bunch of forms for that, and they got to approve it and all this. So that should be a pretty quick thing. And either way, I'll be there daily. And whereas before I was visiting for 10 days a month, now I'll be visiting back home for 5 days or a weekend a month. So obviously there are other times like when the concrete is drying. I will probably stay, let's say the day the concrete's poured, I'll probably stay another week because I got to pull the forms off, got to pack everything away, and I got to do all the layout work, all the lines. I could do that, but I can't start putting blocks on there until 28 days passes. So I'll coordinate everything so it's all, but basically, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I expect the tractor to come in at the end of the month. So, but you never know with those people, with the store, with the tractor people. Assuming it comes in, steel building's on order, Bob. Groundbreaking should be as soon as I get the permit. So the steel building will come in about 6 or 7 months, 7 or 8 months, they said. So God willing, by this winter, I'll be knee deep in building. So I'll see you later, guys. Have a nice time. Dennis, thanks for dropping by. I'll likewise for the rest of you. Tonight on the show, on the 10 o'clock, on the retro show with Al, it's going to be computer peripherals of the 70s and 80s. We'll talk about those 5 megabyte external hard drives and pocket computers and everything else. So have a wonderful evening, everybody. Good evening, Andrew. Good to see you. Hello, hi, bye, and I'll see you all next week. I will probably still be here, so I'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful week, and good night, all.